Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Right, so I think that's all clear. Guys, welcome back to our 5th race of the weekend. We've just had 2 GTS races over in Suzuka, 22 lap race there twice. We've had a D1 and a D2 race for Formula 1 yesterday at the Hungaroring, and today we are back for the first of 2 races at the Hungaroring for Division 3. Now, this is a very important race today, and I'm going to tell you why. So, we've introduced this new division, Division 3, to act as a division for new drivers, and also as a somewhat limbo for drivers who may be too fast and may belong in D2 and D1, but also at the same time allow our D3 drivers to get used to limited assists and then later move up as the seasons go by. Now, we currently have a policy that says every 2 races we will review who gets to move up, and this is the 2nd race. So we know already that there are some really, really fast guys out there. Some of them are even on D1 pace, and today, if these guys can keep it clean, if they can, you know, show that they are good racers, they're not going to quit races. If someone crashes into them, they're just going to continue and not hold grudges, that kind of thing. Then a lot of these drivers are going to be promoted. Now, because we had so many new drivers join us over the past week, so thanks to everyone who has joined, we've actually had to split this race in 2 because we had one too many drivers. So the first race is going to have 14 drivers. The second race is going to have 12, and both of those are going to be used to determine where people are going. Now, everyone in Division 1 currently is staying there. I mean, there's no one in there that shouldn't be. They're all fast. They use absolutely 0 assists, no racing line even. But some of these drivers that are racing here today and in the next race, some of them are going to be moving to Division 1 if they can keep it clean today. I'm not going to say who they are yet, but we believe they have the pace, and we believe that they aren't using any assists either, and we're going to wait and see if that is the case. So, And at the same time, a few of these drivers, I think 3 or 4, are also going to be moving up to Division 2. I'm not going to say who it is again, but we do have space. In D1, there's 3 spaces, and in Division 2, there are 6 spaces. And once those drivers move up, then Division 3 will just go back to 1 race, because then we'll have an even amount of races. So Carter's going to be the first one to set his hot lap. That's misclick, sorry, right now. A really fast driver. Let's see how he gets on. He's just crossed the line. He's starting his lap. His ERS is set to overtake. He's already hit 190. Going into turn 1. Brakes at about 55 meters. Somehow he manages to get that car turned in. He is on the soft tyre. His DRS is turned back open. And now he is approaching the very tricky left-hander at turn 2. Brakes at about 35 meters there. Keeps it tucked in. Gets on the throttle nice and early, has no oversteer, manages to power through turn 3 there. He is doing very well so far. Let's see what his sector 1 time is. It's a 27 flat. Goes a little bit wide and invalidates. He's invalidated his lap, unfortunately, and he's going to have to come back in and go again. Now, looking a bit further down, we've got Papa Whiskey, one of our new drivers, who is just starting his hot lap now as well. So we'll stick with him and see how he gets on too. So his ERS is set to hot lap, not overtake. He brakes at about 55 meters, turns in, locks up slightly. Both front wheels, gets a bit of oversteer, but manages to correct it just in time, and he's going downhill now, approaching turn 2. Brakes a little bit earlier than Carter does, actually, about 45 seconds. He's pushed himself a little bit wide there as well with that lock up on the front left, but he has managed to bring it back. Showcrime has gone fastest with a 1:19.3. That's a pretty good time for soft tyres. And Papa Whiskey's got a car in front of him. It's Lex. Lex is also on an outlap, and he's allowed him to move. Good job there, Lex. He's moved out the way, and Papa Whiskey is still on his hot lap. Going into turn 6 and 7, he brakes just after the 50-meter board there. Cuts a bit of the corner. He's got big oversteer, and he's going to have to abandon the lap. But no, he's still going for it. He's locked up again. He's gone wide. He's going to have to abandon this lap, surely. Those softs are going to be so overheated now with the amount of sliding he is doing. Let's see how he gets on through turn 11. He's still going fairly fast. VR moves out the way. We've got a yellow flag just past. I think that's just the cars moving out of the way there. He goes deep again into turn 12. He needs to abandon this lap. This is too much. Lavsesh goes fastest, as Robs goes even faster with a 1:18.3 so far. But is Papa Whiskey coming in? No, he's not. He's staying out, and he's going to set his time. So I think he's lost about a second and a half with these mistakes so far. So let's see what lap time he can put in. Okay, he puts in a 1:21.5, so that would be about a 1:19 flat. That's a pretty decent time. Now we're right on board with Lex, who is also starting his hot lap as well. So he's closed his DRS there, brakes a little bit early, and he goes a bit deep into turn 1, but he does manage to get it turned around, and he's opened up his DRS, and he is now approaching turn 2 with this almost corner there. So he lifts off at about 50. He goes really deep into turn 2. He's gone wide. He is going to keep it, though. He hasn't invalidated his lap. Let's see how he does into turn 3. Kisses that inside curb. He misses it, actually. It does help you to turn the car a bit more if you do kiss it. There goes. He goes through turn 4 okay as well. There's a car in front getting out of the way. It's Papa Whiskey. He needs to move off the racing line now, as Lex is going to be approaching. He does move off the racing line. Good job there, Papa Whiskey. Lex goes deep, and he's hit the gravel. He's going to have to abandon this lap. So, looking at the leaderboard so far, we've got Carter in first with a 1:16.3. No. Surely not. Okay, wow. That's blown my mind. A 1:16.3, what a time. We've got Rubs, who used to be a D2 driver but had to abandon it due to internet issues, is set a 1:18.3. Now that's a solid D2 time. I'm not implying anything there, I'm just saying that's a solid time. And we've got Lavsesh, who's also one of these really fast drivers as well, setting a 1:18.5. So good start so far. Now, see who's still out on track. Kranker has unfortunately invalidated, but he has set a 1:18.6. Moving down a little bit, we've got one of the Ferraris. That's Atmost, who is... This can't be a hot lap. He's run out of ERS. He must be coming into the pits. It looks like he is still going for it, actually. No, he must be coming into the pits. He's already done 2 laps on these mediums now. Nice to have everyone with us in the chat today. Notice a few names there. Mark, nice to have you here. And we've got... Oh, Lex is back in the pits now, and we've got Showcrime on an outlap. So let's stick with him now. I'm just going to take you through this track, and while I'm doing that, I'm just going to bring up an image to make sure I don't get anything wrong. Now, it should be an 18-corner circuit. 14, sorry, see, I already got it wrong. It's a 14-corner circuit, a very, very technical track. And I'm going to tell you why that is technical right now. So it's a clockwise circuit. There's so many elevation changes here. So on the track between turns 1 and 2, massive downhill, about 20-meter drop, I think. Then as you're going up from turn 2 all the way up to turn 4, you gain all that height back and then some, about 35 meters, I think. So it's a big elevation change. Going through turn 5, it's the first corner that is off camber slightly, and if you touch that inside curve, the car's weight is going to be shifted so far to the left and unbalanced because of the camber, you're going to spin. Coming into turn 6 and 7, another tricky part of the track. It's a pretty standard chicane, but the curbs are so big that it seems like you can cut them more than you can, but if you cut that even slightly, you will get invalidated. And cutting it will affect your entry on 7, even if you don't get invalidated, and that's going to mess you up there as well. Now, coming through all the way in Sector 2, turns 8, all the way through turn 11, if you get one of those corners wrong, a single one, you're going to absolutely destroy all the momentum you have, and you are going to lose around a second there. And then through turn 12, that's probably the easiest corner on the track. Coming up to turn 13, that is a corner that switches its camber from on to off, and that really makes the car want to slip and slide all the way through that corner. And then after that, it's turn 14, which is fairly easy, and then the lap's over. But as you can see, almost all the runoffs are grass here. If you set one wheel wide, you have the potential to destroy your car, and you need to be really careful. A very narrow track, very difficult to overtake, but hopefully these guys here today will show us what they are made of. Now, we've got some people on their outlap. It looks like we've got a Renault. Is that Young Squire? It is Young Squire, and he is starting a hot lap now. So he brakes at about 70 meters as he turns into turn 1. He goes a little bit deep, actually, but does manage to get it turned. He would have lost about half a second there on the hesitation on the throttle, but he is still going for it, so we'll stick with him and see how he gets on. We've got a yellow in Sector 2 and 3. Not sure who that was because the track's still looking green at the moment. Let's see how he takes turn 4. You want to take as much curb as possible there. He's going really easily, so I'm not sure if this is Young Squire's first race without ABS, because we don't allow it here. And that's why he's taking it easy on the brakes. You can see he's taking it very easy on the brakes, actually, and that could be why. But as long as he can keep it consistent, he's going to have a good time here today. We've got a car off in outside of turn 4. I think that might be Rubs. That Rubs? It is Rubs. He needs to allow the faster cars to pass, and he's going to go back again. Now, Young Squire has come off as well, unfortunately. That was on the exit of turn 11. And he's going to have to go again here. He's cooling down his tyres now. You can see he's turned his ERS all the way down. We've got a lot of support for Papa Whiskey in the chat right now as well. There is a lot of potential here. We've even got Larvsesh putting in a 179 as well. That is a solid time from him, pushing Rubs down to 3rd place and securing himself 2nd. But is Carter going faster? No, he's turned his ERS down and he's coming into the pit, so he's probably going to go again. Where's Larvsesh? He's getting out of the way for these drivers ahead right now as he goes through turn 6 and 7. Rubs isn't. Everyone seems to have validated their lap. We've got VR on an outlap right now. He's just coming up to turn 12, so we'll stick with him and we'll see how he gets on his hot lap. He's another new driver here. His first race was in Germany. I think he had a bit of a confidence issue as he was racing in Germany, but he's been practicing all throughout the week, and I do have confidence that he's going to have a good race today if he can stay out of trouble. And he is starting now, so we'll ride on board with him and see how he gets on. I'm just going to check the chat while I stick with VR for now. So just in chat, there is no official. We haven't selected any drivers or anything like that who are going to move to D1. It's only going to be based on their performance for the last 2 races. So yeah, let's keep the rumours out of the chat, boys. Right, so we're going to jump back to VR. He hasn't invalidated yet. He's looking pretty tidy as well. Let's see where he breaks into turn 6. After the 50-meter board, he goes a little bit deep, but manages to correct it with a lock up on the front right, helping him there, actually. Turns into turn 8 and 9, lifting slightly, going off track. Doesn't invalidate, though. Really fast turn 10 here. Lifts for turn 11, slight brake, kisses the curb, and manages to keep it nice and straight on the exit. Into turn 12, brakes just after the 50 meters there and gets that car turned around, avoiding the outside curb there, which also seems to want to throw you off at every chance it can get. Here he comes into the second to last corner, turn 13. Nice and easy through turn 14. Probably the flattest part of the track here. He goes super wide. He might invalidate. He hasn't invalidated. And he crosses the line in third with a 1:18.1. Fantastic job there. Now, Carter is again on an out lap. We've got Vrij on an in lap right now. We've got Random Serious coming into the pits. And we've got Biwat. Ah, there's a new driver. Let's see how Biwat gets on here. Slow and steady, warming up his tyres. We'll jump down to see if anyone else... Ah, Showcrime's just started again. So he was on a 1:19.3, and he's looking to set a faster time now, which could possibly be his last attempt. He's opened up his DRS. He got a bit heavy on the understeer there, tried to correct it, and then turned it into oversteer. But it's okay. It's still looking stable. He's going a bit deep there. He wants to get a bit later on the throttle. It's pushed him into a difficult position on the entry into 3, but he manages to get the car turned. Probably lost about 3/10 there. Oh, he's lost I think he's lost a fair bit of time through there. He's going a little bit slow. I think you don't need to brake there. I think you just need to lift and coast through turn 4. But he actually, I think he's still looking pretty stable. Slight lockups, but nothing too serious. Oh, we got someone off. It's Young Squire. Oh, that's unfortunate. Showtime has to abandon his lap there. He's going to want to... He needs to abandon this, come back in and go back out. I'm not sure how many tyres he has left, but unlucky Young Squire there. There's not much you could have done about that. I really would recommend for Showcrime to come into the pits and abandon this lap. You will have time to do one more lap if you do that. We've got Iceman on an out lap. Let's see what happens if Young Squire's okay. It looks like he's lost an end plate. The damage is set to reduced here. So... yeah, he will be able to put in another lap as well if he can get into the pits quickly. And Carter and a car in front of him are in the pits as well. Papa Whiskey's into the pits. So, if they want to set another lap, they need to be quick, as we see Carter pull a Vettel there and be sneaky around the outside. You are allowed to do that. You are entitled to do that as well if the car is travelling slower in front of you. And I'm not sure if Carter would have got a warning or not, but it is a legal move, as long as you've got at least one of your wheels on the track. But anyway, we've got Random Serious on an out lap, and we've got Iceman Kimmy on a hot lap as well. He's just going through turn 2 right now. Into 3. He looks like he's in control of that car. You know, he's not looking like he's suffering. Oh, nice entry into 4. Cuts the perfect amount of curve there. You can see he just looks so stable on the steering, on the throttle. Let's see his braking into turn 6. No lockups, nice and stable. Pumping that brake to get the optimal amount of pressure. I think he's doing a fairly decent job, and he looks like he's in control of that car right now. In full control of that car right now. Drops it down 2 through turn 11. That's interesting. We've got a Mercedes travelling slow in front of him right now. He brakes a bit early into turn 12. He was a little hesitant there. This is the corner that's on-off combo. You can see it actually, how twisty that part of the road is. It's like you've got a rope and you've twisted it in opposite directions on either side, and that's the result. He goes a bit wide there, but doesn't invalidate, and he crosses the line in 4th place with a low 1:18. Good job there, Iceman Kimmy. Solid performance. Now we've got Lavsesh on an out lap. He's about to start. Carter as well, but we'll stick with Lavsesh for now because he is the one to beat Carter. He's currently 1.5 seconds down, however. Let's see if he can do it. He is on a pretty quick lap right now. Sorry I was silent there. I was just watching the technicality of it. And he is driving that car like a pro right now. Nice and early on the throttle there as well out of 7. Let's see his Sector 2 time just after he comes out of turn 11. He's just going through 10 now, and then here's 11. He brakes slightly, keeps it in 6, and gets that car turned around. He's 3/10 up on his time currently. He's not enough to get Carter yet, but will he go below the 117s? If he can, that will be absolutely remarkable to see. We've got a yellow flag in sectors 1 and 2. Oh, he's a bit hesitant on the throttle there. He could have lost about 2/10. He gets 117.5. That's a pretty decent lap, and he might be going through another one. His fuel is already flashing though, so I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do that. Where's Carter? Carter's just coming up to turn 2 now. He is going for it. It looks like he is going for another one. Surely not. But let's have a look a bit further down. So we've got Rubbs as well. Rubbs is on a hot lap right now. He's about to finish that hot lap. He was on a 118.3 and he's on a hot lap now, I beg your pardon. So he's starting that lap now. We'll jump back to him as he gets on through it. Random Series is invalidated. Cranker is still going for it. He's almost used up all of his ERS as he goes through. Where is he now? I can't see him on track. He's just going through the chicane now at 7, 6 and 7. Stephen, is that YBN, Stephen? Is that who you are? Robot. Mark, yes, I am alone, unfortunately. The third race today that I've commentated alone. I wish you were here. But anyway, moving on. Cranker is on a hot lap, and he may have been held up by Lavsesh there. Is Lavsesh still on his lap? No, he's not. He's not going to have time to go through another one either, so he's coming into the pits. But we'll jump back down to Cranker, who's coming into the pits as well. And Carter's retired from the session in the pit lane, so he's come into the pit lane too, and he's happy with his 116.3. So, good job. Great qualifying. And look how spread out. I mean, so the midfield is very close. Starting from VR all the way down to around D-Day, that is close. Very close. And Carter's just a bit too fast for these guys right now. But turn 1, everything to lose in turn 1. We need to wait and see what happens there. We've got Atmo. Sorry for jumping around like this. We've got everyone's finished now. Yeah. So race will start shortly. Thanks for that, guys. Yep, Stephen, there is a lot of potential here. Some of them may even be challenging you next week when we get to Spa. Some of them may be coming up to D2. We've got... let me give a shout out to Maximus, one of the admins over at OFR. Lika, one of the senior guys, and Stinson, one of the new drivers. They're all in the session right now, spectating, looking for talent. So we have 3 Division 1 drivers right now watching this session and the next one to see who has the potential to be placed higher up. That's the kind of knowledge that we need. These guys are really professional drivers, all of them clean, all of them fair, all of them fast, and I think they are the best ones to determine who should move up. But there is the leaderboard. I think we've got everyone there. We don't have to scroll down, so we should be able to fill in these results nice and clean. But yeah, very close battle that's going to happen in the midfield, I reckon. Everyone qualifying on the soft tyre. There's going to be 18 laps, I believe. Yeah, there should be 18 laps. And there's going to be a lot to play for. It's about a minute 20 a lap, so it will last around half an hour. It's going to be a good race, so I hope you guys stay tuned. So, while we are waiting, I will just quickly go over the top 10 standings for the Division 3 lobby. Actually, I will just keep an eye on this this loading screen to see if anyone ready's up early. So for D3, the current driver standings is Cranker in first. Papa Whiskey's readied up, unfortunately. Never mind. Cranker in first, 25 points. Lavsesh in second with 18 points. Bert in third with 15. And Iceman Kimmy in fourth with 12. Gernman has got 11 points. And D-Day has got 8 points in 6th, BWatt in 7th with 6 points, Atmos in 8th with 4 points, Garrett in 9th with 2 points, and Dunkin' Donuts in 10th with 1 point. Everyone else is below that has got 0 points, so they're all currently even in terms of the driver standings, but their order will be eventually determined based on where they finished in the race, of course. These drivers are getting their cars in the ideal starting state right now. When you're seeing them swerve left and right, they are trying to apply as much heat into the tyres as they can to make sure they can get enough grip and pull away from their starting grid slot. We do have 2 drivers out of the formation lap right now. I'm not sure what happened there, but they'll be heating up their brakes as well, braking hard into some of these corners and trail braking as well to keep the heat up. They need to make sure their brakes are at ideal temperature because turn 1 is it's a long run down to turn 1, and they need their brakes more than ever there. It's similar to Mexico. You need your brake pressure, your brake heat and pressure perfect as you're going into turn 1 because it's such a long run. But yeah, here they go, lining up. Let's hope it's nice and clean. Simon, nice to have you in the chat as well. Good to see you here. Simon is one of our D1 drivers that moved up from D2 last season. Currently fighting in the midfield in Division 1. It's really nice to see. But we are about to begin, so let me make sure I've got all of the details ready. Yes, we have. We're going to ride on board with VR because he'll be starting in 3rd and he'll give us a nice view of what's going on ahead. So that's 5 lights and we are away. So it looks like Carter actually got a pretty decent start. He's not going to be challenged anytime soon. He might get challenged by Larsesh, but he's already covering off the inside as Larsesh is looking around the outside right now. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers? I think it's going to be Carter as he clears the turn 1 and pulls away. Now, it doesn't look like there's too much drama going on behind. One of the Ferraris has gone wide, but that's about it. Lex is keeping his cool and he is driving sensibly at the back there, waiting to pick these drivers off as they make mistakes. Now, we've got Cranker moving down at oh, he's moved up 4 places actually. So has Iceman Kimmy. He's retained his spot. Larsesh has jumped down and Rubs is now battling Carter just 1/10 behind. Wow, keep that speed up, Rubs. That's really nice to see there. So nice to have you here as well, Super Bounty. Good to see you watching. Carter is not pulled away as I thought he would right now, but it looks like it's going steady with everyone behind. We've got a bit of a battle going on between Young Squire and Lex. It looks like Young Squire is pushing Lex here. Lex has made a position change on him, and Young Squire has jumped down 2 positions, unfortunately. Hello there, Stinson, as well. Thanks for joining the chat. But yeah, it's a pretty decent start to the race. A lot cleaner than D1 and D2, actually. That race start was a bit messy. But going good. A lot of potential we're seeing here. Very potential. Stinson, if you're listening, how are these drivers looking so far? How did you find qualifying? As Carter sets the fastest lap, of course, because he's qualified. He started in 1st. Oh, we've got Squire off. Not sure what happened with him. I could really do with a replay function now, Codemasters, but Squire is coming into the pits, and let's hope he can get back to racing. Now, up ahead, Carter has pulled away a little bit more from Rubs, and it doesn't look like we've got a battle going on for 1st place right now, but Larsesh and Rubs are still battling it out. Larsesh in that nice McLaren car there, and Rubs in the Alpha. Larsesh has actually got a purple 1st sector, so he has pace. He has lots of pace. And he is pressuring Rubs right now. Ooh, almost contact lock up on the front right there, but still keeping it clean. Good to see. He's getting a bit scruffy, and this is what I'm talking about. Both of these drivers have gone wide or have gone deep into these corners, and that's just ruined their momentum. And look, Carter has now gained half a second there, and look at Rubbs battling with the car at turn 11 there. Brakes really late, goes deep at turn 12, still keeps the position though, but it looks like Lavsesh is going to try and go around the outside. Oh, almost contact there. Both of them still managed to avoid each other though. That was, I mean, Carter's in the pits. Is that Carter in the pits? He's coming into pit already. It looks like he's going to switch to the mediums and go to the end. These softs do not last long at all, and you're seeing that already. Has Carter made the right choice? We'll have to wait and see. It's all down to Lavsesh right now. If Lavsesh can put in a really fast lap right now, he could jump Carter on the next lap. He may still have a bit of speed left in these tyres. But Lex has moved all the way up to 10th place right now. That's 4 places in 2 laps. Well done, as we see Lavsesh get a bit scruffy into turn 2 there. We've got a yellow in sector 2, and I think that's young Squire who's still having a bit of a tough time getting around that tricky middle sector, but he's still looking okay. Jana Lundy, is that Jana or Jana? Yeah, Carter's doing a pretty good job. He did pit early. I think it would have been lap 3 would have been a good time to pit, but we're going to have to wait and see if he made the right choice. He's very fast here out on track, and it's all going to be whether or not Lavsesh can jump him and do the overcut, or whether Carter's undercut is working. But I'm just going to jump to Carter to see where he is and see how he's getting on. He still looks like he's got a lot of speed even on these medium tyres. He's doing some ERS management. He's managing it very well. One thing you do see a lot in D1 drivers and drivers of this pace is that they do a lot of ERS management. Now you can see it in the bottom right hand corner, that yellow bar that's going across with a little lightning symbol next to it. That is them changing the amount of energy they deploy from their stored battery, and they can mostly changing it almost in every corner, but because Carter has so much now, he's stuck it in high and he needs to get across. Now Lavsesh hasn't pitted, he stayed out for another lap. This could be interesting. I'm not sure if he's going to have the pace now with 4 lap old softs. We're going to have to wait and see. Now, we've got a few more guys in the pits. That's Showtime, Cranker, and Random Series. Let's just jump to them and see if any of them are going to be able to come. No, Showtime comes out already ahead, still ahead, so no one jumped each other in the pits there. And Random Series is going to be the last guy. You can see him there with his bright purple helmet on, with a change of the front wing going straight onto those medium tyres as well. So, we're going to jump back up to the race leader and see how he's getting on. He's just gone through turn 6 and 7, and Carter is just coming round turn 5 now. Carter must be doing some great promotion of this league because he's brought his family in even. That's really nice to see. He's getting all the support he can imagine right now. Let's hope he can have a nice clean race as well. So, Lavsesh is just coming up to the penultimate corner. He's gone through turn 13. He's now at 14 and he still hasn't pitted. He stayed out for another lap. I think he's made a mistake here. Iceman Kimmy is staying out as well. Now, especially in a 50% race, the tyres, soft tyres, those red striped tyres that you can see on these cars, they would fall off now in the 50% race. I'm not entirely sure how this will work out in a 25% race, but surely they can't go any longer. This is too much. So Lex has moved up to 6 as Carter passes him there on the straight. Carter in the Williams, Lex on in the Mercedes there. Looking nice and healthy, having a pretty good race so far. He has stayed out as well. Now let's just quickly change the view slightly here and see what tyres these guys have on. So Lex is still running on 4-lap old softs. Carter's on 2-lap old mediums. And yes, it's clear now. I think he's going to be safe, Carter. He's got about 15 seconds on the drivers ahead of him, and that when they pit, he should be covered. But he is going to have 2-lap older medium tyres towards the end of the race. But we'll focus on what's going on in the midfield right now. I'm looking on track. I can't see any drivers that are particularly close together right now. So I will jump back up to the race leader, Lavsesh, and see how he's getting on here. So he's just turned. It looks like you can see how much more hesitant he's being on the throttle. It doesn't look like these soft tyres are gripping as much as they should. You can see he's getting far later on the throttle there. He's not being able to apply the power. His tyres must be spinning. And here comes Carter about to make a pass on Papa Whiskey. Papa Whiskey going deep there. Carter's got that DRS. He's opened it. He has a big speed advantage already, and he gets that overtake done. Let's just hope both these drivers can keep it clean as they go into turn 1. Carter sticking to the middle of the track to make sure he doesn't get hit from the back. Very clever racing there. And he's back in 4th place now. And he is approaching BWAT soon. Now, Iceman Kimi is 2 seconds behind Lafsa. So this is another new driver who's particularly got... Well, he's got a lot of pace around here, particularly this track. It's really great to see what some of these new drivers are doing. Now, I'm not really sure what assists they are using exactly either. But if they do move up to the D2, they need to remember that we're only using medium traction there, racing line through corners, and that's it. And then in D1, we're using absolutely 0 assists, not even a racing line. So these drivers that could be moving up need to make sure that they have been practicing. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. It looks like a McLaren. Is that Lafsesh? It's Lafsesh who's going slow. His tyres must have given out, and oh, and look at Carter. He's on the same bit of in Sector 3 now as well. It looks like his tyres have just gone too far. 6 is too far on these softs, and look how slow he's going. He's coming into the pits. He is coming into the pits. Is BWAT going to do the same? No. BWAT's going to stay out on 5-lap old soft tyres. And here comes Carter as well. He's going to be attacking him very, very shortly. As Lavslesh, I think Lavslesh spun or something. Carter's setting fastest laps, 120.2. It seems like it is the Carter fan club. He has lots of fans in this chat right now. Really great to see. Good to have you with us, Steve Holloway there. Thanks for participating in this race with us. It's always great to get as much viewers as we can so we can show off what these drivers are doing. Now, we've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. It's Squire. He's left the session on lap 7, unfortunately. And his car... has he actually left? I'm not entirely sure. Oh no, he might still be there, actually. But anyway, we'll jump back up ahead to see what's going on here. The gap is now just 4 tenths, and I think Carter is about to get an overtake done here. We'll jump to his onboard, because that's the best view we can get of this. And you can see how much those tyres are struggling ahead. He's just not able. He's having to go very wide on the turn and into corners just to make sure he can get the car turned around. And there he goes. He's defending on the inside. Carter's going to outbrake him and turn in. And he has taken the lead even before these guys behind have pitted. Now, Papa Whiskey should be coming into the pit soon as well. He's just gone through turn 11. BWAT should be pitting as well. He needs to pit as soon as possible. And there he goes into the pits. Yes, he's coming in. He's coming in. So Carter reclaims first place. Right, so he's going on to the mediums, as suspected. Papa Whiskey picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's unfortunate. And everyone apart from Papa, he's about to put them on now. He's put on softs again. Surely, that must be a glitch. That must be a glitch. Surely, no, he's put on medium. So everyone is now on medium tyres, and there are 10 laps to go until the end of the race. Let's keep the chat clean, guys. Come on. Now, D-Day's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. Yeah, I think that's an AI driving because you can see the throttle being super hesitant and you can see the brake as well tapping like he's got ABS on. Yeah, I think that's an AI driving now. So we won't look at young Squire anymore. We'll stick with what's going on ahead. Now, looking at these close battles, we've got Rubs and Lavsesh engaged in a bit of a battle right now, as well as Iceman Kimi. So there's a big battle going on for 4th place right now. It looks like... Oh, Crank is just a 10th behind here. Let's stick with these guys because Show Crime is about to get taken, I think. He goes deep into turn 13, a bit too deep, still keeps the position. He's going to have the inside line here, but they need to be careful. He's gone deep into 14 as well, but manages to get that car, at least the front end rotated, as Cranker gets a little bit scruffy there. If he was a little bit more hesitant on the throttle, he may have actually had a chance to jump Show Crime here, but he just got a bit too impatient there. A bit further down, we've got Lavsesh making a move on Rubs down the inside. He gets that car turned around right in time, pushes him off the track slightly there, but Rubs is still ahead, thankfully. And then he concedes the position in the end to Lavsesh. So, great little battle there. A bit too aggressive, I think, but okay. Okay. So we're on lap 19, we're halfway through the race. My throat is extremely sore and my chest feels very tight. I've been speaking all day, screaming at my TV. But we have a great race on our hands right now. So this battle between Kranker and Shokram is not over, and Kranker has caught him up again as they are just going through turns 8 and 9 right now. Shokram going wide. I don't think he's that comfortable on these tyres as he was compared to the softs, but they are battling for a very important second place right now, as Carter is almost a pit stop ahead of these guys again. And there's Young Squire's car. Now, this is why we say you should not quit the session, because your AI blocks drivers on track and it's just destroyed this battle here. It's really not good to see, and we need to make sure drivers stop quitting the race. It is not good for the stream, and it's not good for the drivers that are still on track either. But anyway, Lavsesh has made a great DRS overtake there just before they get to turn 1, but Shokram is not giving up. A bit of contact there, and Lavsesh comes out on top in front of all of them. No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. He's in front now, but Kranker's got the inside line into turn 2. Is he able to keep it? There's contact between these two. Ooh, but they're still okay. How are these guys keeping it so clean? They're coming in any contact like this that happened in D1 or D2 resulted in an immediate spin. But these guys have got some, I don't know what they have. They have some amazing skill right now, because this battle is absolutely amazing as we see Kranker losing the rear slightly as he's going through the corner, but manages to keep it on track and pointing in the right direction. This battle for second place now is all the way down to 6th. These guys are that close. So I'm going to jump down to Iceman Kimmy because he is now on the back of Shokram. Shokram making a mistake and going wide at turn 8 there. Cutting the corner at turn 9. Picks up a penalty actually for cutting the corner too many times. Iceman Kimmy's looking down the inside. He's trying to get inside his head. Put him off. I'm not sure what it is with Shokram. He may have the wrong setup. He might have damage. I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't look like he's got any wing damage. He looks pretty stable now, but I don't know how he's managing to keep Iceman Kimmy behind him. Iceman Kimmy looking down the inside, but not yet. He's not going to be able to do it yet as he gets a better exit and he gets DRS going into turn 2. He's looking down the inside. He's got the inside line. There's a little bit of a contact. The trees are blocking our view, but he manages to get the overtake done. Well done. Good move, Iceman Kimmy. Great battle between you two, though. Absolutely fantastic. The trees really do block a lot of the track around here. Forget global warming. They need to chop them down. Now, Lex and VR are battling hard as well. This is great to see. Now, Lex is one of the admin here. He's been with this league. He helped create this league. In fact, he's the founder of this league. All the way back from when it was F1 IR. He posted the very first message on Reddit asking if anyone wanted to start a league. I think I was the first one to see it. We joined a party immediately, and within one day we had created our first league called F1 International Racing, and that lasted 2 seasons before we rebranded to Online Formula Racing, and now we are, 3 different games. We've got GTS, we've got Dirt, and we've got Formula 1. We've got 6 different divisions in total, and we've got over 100 drivers in our server. It's so amazing what we've done here. And every driver, everyone who was a part of this league, oh, Vion looking down the inside into turn 13 there, pushes Lex slightly. He did get his shoulders out there, but I think that was just aggression. I don't think that was dangerous, so to speak. And hopefully Lex doesn't have any damage, but he will be battling now with his DRS wide open. He does have Papa Whiskey behind him as well. Can Lex get this overtake done? No! VR has escaped somehow. How did that happen? Oh, he's looking a bit messy as he's going through turn 2, and Papa Whiskey gets an overtake done on him as well. As I was saying, there's a bit of a battle going on up ahead. Let me stop giving you a history lesson and jump back to this, because Rubs is getting challenged by Iceman right now, and Rubs is also challenging Kranker. So this battle for 3rd place now is still going on as D-Day picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So these guys are just going through turn 13 here. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep an eye on the chat as well, just to see what's going on. Yeah, Steve, thanks for coming and thanks for joining here today. It's great to have you. Hopefully you will join on our races next week as well. Carter's 20 seconds out in the lead right now. Very good job from him. We've got Larv Session second, and we've still got this battle going on. There's just 4 tenths between these drivers now. Just going through turn 2. It looks like Cranker went a bit wide there. Cranker's another new driver. He was also racing in our GT Sport League not 1 hour ago. He jumps in an F1 car, and he's got some serious pace here as well. Multi-talented driver here. Great to see. Rubs is not easing up the pressure, though. He wants that 3rd place. He wants that podium, and he is out to get it. He's not giving up as Cranker gets scruffy through turn 7 there. Rubs is he is just overall a very, very great driver. He's got consistency. He's fair on track, and he never gives up. He's gone super wide there as he's going through turn 11. Manages to keep his car on track, but he's now getting challenged by Iceman Kimi in that Renault behind him. You can see the brake disc glowing there. I always love watching that as Rub locks up his front left tire. He's going to be on the back foot now as he's coming up to turn 14, and Iceman Kimi's going to have DRS, but so is Rubs. This is Iceman's 4th place to take. Is he going to be able to do it? Can he secure this? He's going to have DRS. He's switched his DRS to hot lap, but Rubs has DRS too, and he's actually pulling away. So is Rubs going to get this overtake on into turn 1? Not yet. He's a bit too far behind. We're on lap 14, and he's even closer now. Cranker is under pressure. Lex picks up a 3-second time penalty and multiple warnings. Cranker right on his rear wing. I'm not sure if they even had contact there. They were so close. Let's hope they can keep it clean. This is a hell of a battle going on right now. Iceman Kimi's just 2 tenths behind Rubs there as he made a little bit of a mistake following a bit too closely into turn 2. Iceman is right behind him through turn 4. I don't know how he managed to get that close. That's a really hard corner to follow through, but he is doing it. And he's actually left him a bit now. Iceman's made a bit of a mistake there, and the battle is now just between Rubs and Cranker. These 2 are getting a lot of, well, these 3 are getting a lot of screen time, but that's because they are keeping this battle alive for so long. Now, Rubs has got it all to do now. He's dropped down 8 tenths, almost a second. He needs to make sure he can get within a second to get that DRS, but he's not going to be able to do it this lap. Unless he can close it. No, he's gone wide again. He's really struggling on these medium tyres here. We've got yellow in sector 2. It's one of the Ferraris. It's not at... Oh, they're both moving faster now, so it must have just been a little incident. Papa Whiskey picks up a penalty, but we will go up to the race leader to see how he's getting on. He's got the AI of of Young Squire to pass. Sorry, I'm getting confused with Young Stinson and Young Squire, but he does get past, and he has he's been leading a very good race so far. It's great to see. Now this battle between Iceman. Oh, we got is that Showcrime? Showcrime spun on the exit of turn 3 on the run up to turn 4. Not sure what happened there, but we will jump back to that battle between Iceman because it is getting closer again, and he is right on the gearbox of Rubs right now as well. Just going through turn 9, turn 10, and 11. Rubs is not looking stable. He's locking up again. I think he's just overheated his tyres. They're so hard to cool down here. We've got a Ferrari all the way off track at turn... Where is that? At turn 5, so he must have gone wide on that slightly off-camber right-hander there. He's cut the chicane, and he's now back on track. So we're on lap 16 of 18. Oh my god, dive bomb and a half! Can he do it? There's a bit of contact. He almost spins Rubs. Let's hope Rubs is okay. He is okay, and oh, there you go. Absolute superb driving. He knows he made a mistake. He eased off the throttle, and he allowed Rubs to claim that position back. Round of applause for Iceman Kimi there. That is the type of driving you want to see, but Rubs has let him past. I think we're in a moment here where we're trying to figure out who's the biggest gentleman. I'm not sure what's going on here. I think that was a bit excessive, but that is great to see nonetheless. Nonetheless, these guys are great, and this battle is not yet over. But again, really fantastic. Now, we've got a yellow in Sector 3. Not sure who that is. It's a Williams. It was a Williams passing another car, a Mercedes actually. D-Day's retired from the session. He's come off and he's in the pits on lap 17. So, jumping back through. We're riding on board with Rubs now. And the gaps are all over a second now. So there's not much action going on track, but we'll see how the guys a bit lower down are getting on. So Lex is driving in the Mercedes. His teammate Random Series is ahead of him. Let's have a look at their fastest laps. So Carter currently has the fastest lap, a 120.1 on those medium tyres. That's where he set it on, I think, lap 6 or 7. Lex's fastest lap is a 123 on the mediums. Now, bearing in mind Carter has the pace of a D1 driver, 3 seconds behind on a fastest lap is actually probably that's how much the difference is between fastest D1 and mid D2. So Lex has got pace around here, and that's really nice to see. Everyone in the middle have set either a 121 or a 122, which is also good to see, and there could be some potential D1 drivers in that mix too. It's really great to see how clean all of these races are. A lot of them are being perfect gentlemen. And we've got a bit of a battle going on up ahead again. Let me just quickly switch that back to the interval. It must have been back markers, actually. We're okay. We're going to jump up to Papa Whiskey, another one of our new drivers. He's had a pretty decent race in 10th place now in the Red Bull. Carter, Squire, and Random Serious. Oh, and Cranker. Oh, actually, quite a few. Quite a few have taken these mediums above 13 laps so far, and they're not doing too bad either. Now, Carter is on his final lap, so we'll jump to him as soon as he crosses the line. He's just coming up to it now, actually, so I'll jump to him now. Great race from you there, Carter. Very, very good job. Just coming up to turn 13 now. Nice and clean, nice and consistent. Couldn't have asked for more. And he's going to cross the line and take that first place. Congratulations, Carter. Absolutely fantastic job. Well deserved. Jumping down, we've got Lavsesh who's going to be next. We've got still a bit of a battle going on between Cranker. It's come down to 3/10 now. Sorry, Lavsesh, but I want to see if any of these guys can do that really late dive bomb. Ricciardo style. Doesn't look like it. It looks like Cranker got ahead. He's locked up slightly as he goes through turn 13. It's going to have to be turn 14 as Lavsesh is about to cross the line. I'm going to quickly jump to Lavsesh to make sure we can see him, and here they come! They're going to be side by side. He's looking down the inside, he's blocking left and right, and he can't make it, unfortunately. Iceman finishes in 4th, Cranker in 3rd, Rubs in 5th, B-Watts in 6th. Show Crime is just coming around the final corner now. He's going to take 7th place, depending on what penalties these driver has. He doesn't have any. Let's see if Atmos can do it as well. Coming around turn 14 here. Very solid race from everyone so far. Well deserved. And he crosses the line in 8th place. Here comes VR. He takes 9th, and Papa Whiskey is going to be the last guy. He's just gone through 13 there. Here he comes, round 14. And he's going to be the last one to cross the line, and he'll finish in 10th place. So, great race, guys. Really couldn't have asked for much more. We did have a few drivers quit the race, unfortunately. It's never good to see, so we'll have to have a word with them after this. But overall, great battles, very clean racing, a lot of respect in this race as well, and that's exactly what we want to see from our new drivers. Absolutely fantastic. Driver of the day, I think it's going to go into 2 drivers. I think it's going to be Rubs and Carter. Carter just for his outright pace and consistency, and Rubs for following people so closely, never giving up, always pushing and battling with the very worn and overheated tyres. He managed to keep it on at all times. So you two, well deserved. Good job, guys. And we will see you in around 10 or 5 or 10 minutes for the next D2 race. There's only going to be 12 drivers there, but I imagine it's going to be as amazing as that race. So Carter, Lavsesh, and let's see who the last guy was. Carter, Lavsesh, and Young Squire didn't have penalties, but Young Squire quit. So the top 2, well done for getting no penalties. Great to see. Catch you guys in about 10 minutes. And thanks for everyone who has joined the stream.